Trump just fired Obama's Surgeon General and immediately replaced him. This surprising choice, liberals freak. In one of the newest White House developments, Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy, who was a President Obama appointee, was forced out by President Trump. He was turned down over Deputy Surgeon General Sylvia Trent Adams, who will now be the acting Surgeon General. She is an African-American female nurse, no less. So much for that xenophobia people accuse the president of. Supporters of the former Attorney General are knocking her down for being what they call just a nurse. Even mainstream liberal media are taking passive-aggressive jabs at the new Surgeon General. They released an article that was titled, "Dr. Vivek Murthy, an Obama appointee, resigns as Surgeon General, replaced by Deputy Sylvia Trent Adams, a nurse." Despite being only a nurse, as they called her, she also has a PhD, which they failed to mention. Probably because it does not fit into their narrative. The New York Times treated her the same way by releasing an article with a similar title reading, "Nurse Replaces Surgeon General After Obama Appointee Resigns." They wait until the very last paragraph of the article to note that she has the advanced doctorate degree and was a nurse in the Army who was formerly the Deputy Surgeon General. Yet when she was the Deputy Surgeon General who was second in command to her predecessor, nobody questioned her history or credentials. If she was good enough, then why is she not that okay enough now? Especially considering she would have had the role she currently has, had the former Surgeon General resign or step down. The president could have fired her when his administration began. It isn't uncommon after all to keep people in high positions such as that when a new administration is being put into place. Which means the president must have confidence in her credentials and capabilities to put her in this position. Despite the fact that this is a temporary promotion, it was the conservative media that went out and applauded Trent Adams for her promotion to this high position. The same people that liberals call racist, xenophobic, homophobic and every derogatory slur under the sun. If they were all those things, why would they be happy at her appointment? Spokesman for the Department of Health and Human Services said. Dr. Murthy, the leader of the U.S. Public Health Service Commissioned Corps, was asked to resign from his duties as Surgeon General after assisting in a smooth transition into the new Trump administration. Dr. Murthy has been relieved of his duties as Surgeon General and will continue to serve as a member of the Commissioned Corps. Secretary, Tom Price thanks him for his dedicated service to the nation. In his own Facebook post, the former Surgeon General said, "While I had hoped to do more to help our nation tackle its biggest health challenges, I will be forever grateful for the opportunity to have served." For the grandson of a poor farmer from India to be asked by the president to look out for the health of an entire nation was a humbling and uniquely American story. "I will always be grateful to our country for welcoming my immigrant family nearly 40 years ago and giving me this opportunity to serve." As some users noted, she will be the very first female RN nurse to hold the position she currently holds. Which is a huge milestone in itself. As President Trump said during his campaign, he knows how to surround himself with talented people, and this is what he is doing. Running his country like a well-oiled machine, like he does his business. It certainly worked well for him, and business will likely continue to work for this country. It doesn't matter that she is a woman, nurse, or African American. Clearly, the president thinks she is the best woman for the job, so he appointed her. That should be enough for people, especially considering she was originally appointed by President Obama. But liberal progressives will find any excuse under the sun to criticize the president, even in a ludicrous and ridiculous situation such as this. This just shows how little liberals care about equality. They want equality when it suits their needs, benefits, and desires, but they don't when it doesn't. It is hypocrisy at its absolute finest. If you are against misogyny and xenophobia, then you are against it anywhere and everywhere, not just when it suits you. He's unbelievable. Mattis just scared Kim Jong-un to death with these 5 words. When it comes to keeping the U.S. safe, Secretary of Defense James Mattis is not messing around. For years we have sat by and let North Korea threaten us. Those days are over. Yesterday Mattis met with his British counterpart, Michael Fallon. The two were holding a joint press conference when Secretary Mattis dropped this bombshell. North Korea must be stopped. Mattis told his crowd. This is a threat of both rhetoric and growing capability. We are working diplomatically, including with those that we might be able to enlist in this effort to get North Korea under control, but right now it appears to be going in a very reckless manner. That's got to be stopped. See? He is not messing around. Mattis's message was loud and clear. Kim Jong-un has one final chance to stop building nukes and threatening us, or we will defeat him for good. Like he said, he is hoping for diplomacy, but not afraid of a good fight if needed. He also sent a warning to Putin telling him to back off his political and social tampering in the world or there will be consequences. Are you proud to have a man like James Mattis in charge? If so, share this out and let everyone know. Breaking, top Democrat announces sick Islamic plan for Trump fans. It's war. We live in a time where free speech is constantly under attack. Political correctness will be the death of us. Popular Democrat Howard Dean weaponized his First Amendment rights to attack Americans for using theirs. Howard Dean took his thoughts to Twitter. He is silencing Islamic critics, and using the law to close in on people he disagrees with. His tweet was instigated by Ann Coulter. Coulter is known for holding terrorists accountable in the most brash and honest ways. She uses her freedom of speech to spread awareness of this continuing terrorist epidemic. Dean is conflating critique of Islamist terror with hate speech. This is a highly dangerous comparison to make. Something wholly honest and true could be another person's definition of hateful words. Via Jihad Watch. The label of hate speech could be placed upon any fact, idea, or opinion that makes someone uncomfortable. Equating criticism with hate speech is absolutely insane. Patriots, is it wrong to speak out against radical Islam? No, we need to keep our fellow Americans safe. Our First Amendment right states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Via PolitiFact. Analyzing and interpreting radical Islamic terror is fair game. The First Amendment blatantly conveys that not a single religion is withheld from our right of speech. It has this basic right that keeps our country honest and fair. Freedom of speech allows Americans to perform their own checks and balances system. We have the right to decipher and explain potential threats. Howard Dean's attempt to take this right away is unpatriotic and anti-American. He is just like every other insane liberal out there. They are always trying to start a war over anything that offends them. If it's war he wants, he should know that it's a war he can win. We know our laws. Liberals like Howard Dean must be stopped. Their attempts to control us are pathetic. All he and his comrades concern themselves with is slandering patriotic conservatives, and retreating from their own hypocrisy. Patriots, we want to be silenced or defeated. Conservatives everywhere are ready to call out our enemies. We want to be dissuaded from speaking the truth. We will continue to voice our concerns over radical Islamic terrorists. Those anti-American thugs hate us, and we will not forget that. We will not change our opinions for Howard Dean. What do you think of Howard Dean's attempt to silence free speech? Share this article on Facebook because we want to hear your voice. 0:0 Breaking, as thousands march across America, Trump issues massive response. President Donald Trump issued an Earth Day statement Saturday that said his administration seeks what's best for the environment and for the American workers living in it. Trump's message came on the same day as the March for Science, in which activists opposed to Trump's environmental agenda said public policy must follow the dictates of researchers. Trump has earned the wrath of many Democrats and liberals by upending the environmental policy of former President Barack Obama. Trump has also vowed to reduce the regulatory burden federal agencies place on businesses. However, Trump said in his statement that science is essential to sound policy. Rigorous science is critical to my administration's efforts to achieve the twin goals of economic growth and environmental protection, he said. However, Trump also noted that for science to be valuable, it cannot be the tool of partisan agendas. My administration is committed to advancing scientific research that leads to a better understanding of our environment and of environmental risks. As we do so, we should remember that rigorous science depends not on ideology, but on a spirit of honest inquiry and robust debate, he said. President Donald Trump issued an Earth Day statement Saturday that said his administration seeks what's best for the environment and for the American workers living in it. Trump's message came on the same day as the March for Science, in which activists opposed to Trump's environmental agenda said public policy must follow the dictates of researchers. Trump has earned the wrath of many Democrats and liberals by upending the environmental policy of former President Barack Obama. Trump has also vowed to reduce the regulatory burden federal agencies place on businesses. However, Trump said in his statement that science is essential to sound policy. Rigorous science is critical to my administration's efforts to achieve the twin goals of economic growth and environmental protection, he said. However, Trump also noted that for science to be valuable, it cannot be the tool of partisan agendas. My administration is committed to advancing scientific research that leads to a better understanding of our environment and of environmental risks. As we do so, we should remember that rigorous science depends not on ideology, but on a spirit of honest inquiry and robust debate, he said. Just in, Trump and Melania show up at military hospital, what happens next is turning heads. President Donald Trump personally awarded a Purple Heart Saturday to an Army sergeant who lost part of his leg in Afghanistan. When I heard about this and I wanted to do it myself, Trump said during a brief ceremony at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, MD. Earlier in the day, Trump had tweeted that he was going to Walter Reed. After the ceremony, the President and First Lady Melania Trump visited with veterans at the military facility. The visit lasted about 90 minutes. Sergeant First Class Alvaro Barrientos, who was wounded in Afghanistan on March 17, was accompanied by his wife, Tammy. Barrientos was injured when